Hi, this is Christian Cantrell, and this is a review of the Filco Majestouch-2 keyboard with Cherry MX Red key switches. So the keyboard is made by Filco, and the switches are made by Cherry, and these are MX Red switches, and I'll go ahead and pull one off so you can see what they look like. This is my favorite key puller here. This one's made by Filco. I have another key puller here. This one came with another keyboard. It's sort of like a tweezer design. It's pretty much rubbish. I don't like it at all. So we're going to go with this one here and just pull this keycap off, and you can see that this is a MX Cherry Red key switch. So let's put the keycap back on. Now, what are the characteristics of the red switches? They are linear, non-clicky, and they are light, or they are relatively light, I would say. So what does that mean? First of all, linear. Linear means that they do not have the tactile bump when you depress them. The only thing you feel is when they actually bottom out. Now, this is one with MX Cherry Brown switches, and these have a noticeable tactile bump, which is really nice for typing because it can prevent you from actually bottoming out the keys. You feel a little bump, and then that tells you that it's time to release. It's pretty much unconscious or subconscious or subliminal. You don't notice it, in other words. You just start to type very, very quickly. The MX Cherry Reds do not have that tactile bump, which means you're typically going to bottom them out. That's what linear means. They're non-clicky, and that means that they do not have a specific mechanism in them to make an explicit clicking sound. So the sound that you're hearing is the key actually bottoming out. So there's actually no device in it that makes it an explicit clicking sound like the blue switches do. I don't have one here to show you. I do have one or two. I actually have a couple of them, but they're quite noisy. They're very, very loud. You really can't use them in like a cubicle environment. They're so loud. If you think these are loud, these are nothing compared to blues. So these are non-clicky. And they're relatively light, which means that they don't take a lot of force to actuate. It takes about 45 grams. The MX Cherry Black switches are also non-linear, non-clicky, but they require more weight to actuate them. So same amount of travel, but the reds require less weight. So I guess I will, at this point, give you a little typing demonstration here so you can get an idea of what the two different key switches sound like. So those are the reds. And those are the browns. So they really don't sound that different. In fact, I think they more or less are comparable in terms of sound. The difference is really just in the feel. Now again, the blues, very, very different, very loud, very clicky, very clacky. The browns and the reds are not that different. So what are the reds good for? The conventional wisdom is that the red switches are really good for gaming. And that's because you do not really need a tactile bump when you're gaming because you're not touch typing. And you certainly don't need or want clicking sounds when you're gaming, like you get on the blues because you're actually trying to listen to the sounds of the game. So that's the conventional wisdom, and I have to say that after having this keyboard for a while, I completely agree. As you can see, I have this set up for gaming, so I have my WAS D keys and my escape key. I have special keycaps on them so they're easy to find when the lights are down low and you have to move your hand for whatever reason. You want to be able to find your, this is sort of the home row when you're gaming. And I have the 10 keyless version, which I prefer for gaming because it allows me to keep my mouse very, very close by, and I can reach it easily. So which keyboard is right for you? Well, if you're looking for a keyboard specifically for typing, I would recommend either the browns or the blues. Some people really like the clicking sound of the blues, and if you work all by yourself, if you have your own office, the blues are okay. If you share a work environment, I would recommend the browns. I prefer the browns. I have both. I like both, but I usually go for the browns for a typing situation. Now, if you want a keyboard that's good for both gaming and typing, if you only have one computer, that you use for both, then I would definitely recommend the browns because you can type really well on them, and they're also really good for gaming. They're not loud like the blues, they're not going to drown out the sound of the game, and stuff like that. But you also get the good mechanical feel, so the browns are ideal for a situation where you want both. Now, if you have a dedicated gaming computer like I do, then I would definitely recommend checking out the reds or maybe even the blacks, depending on what you like. I like the reds, they're nice and light, so it works well for me. They're not too noisy, but it's still nice and mechanical. The Filco keyboards are very, very sturdy. They're heavy, they don't move, they're rooted to the desk here. They have nice rubber feet. So these are excellent keyboards. I have several of them. I really like them. And I think the reds work really well for gaming. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Otherwise, thanks for watching.